very important lesson today. We need to be focused, we need to get in quickly and quietly so that I can begin on time if we're going to get it all finished. OK, that's very good. Could you sit down quietly, please, without shuffling your chairs too much? You don't need a pen or a pencil in your hand, you just need to be looking this way so we can begin quickly. Good. Now, I said it was an important lesson today, and it is because next lesson, on Wednesday, you'll be sitting your next modular test in history, the second test that you've done this term. And what we're going to do this lesson is two things. We're going to revise what we've learned about the Great Potato Famine, and secondly, we're going to think about how we can use that information effectively and use it well in the tests which are coming up. Now, it's a bit different from previous tests that we've done, in so much as that I'm going to tell you what the question is before you come into the lesson. So if this is working properly. What were the consequences of the Irish potato famine is the question you're going to be asked to answer. Now, like any important historical event, there are more than one consequence to the Irish potato famine. There are lots of consequences, and what we've got to try to do this lesson is get our head around quite a few of them to ensure that we've got enough knowledge to do well in the test. What I'd like you to do in your pairs is to look at this piece of evidence. And it's a drawing which appeared in an English newspaper called the London Illustrated News in December 1847. Now, what I'm going to ask you and your pair to do in a minute is to annotate or to add labels to this picture, and I've left space for you around the outside. Now, the kinds of things that I'm looking for are very simple observations about who appears in the picture. Can you identify any of the people, not by name, but who might they be? What job might they do? What's going on in the picture? So, 2 minutes, starting now. See how many labels you can add to the outside.
To get the money or to get money. To get the money.
Yeah. Well, if you see, there's a woman just outside, probably her house, probably saying to the landlord, if that's the landlord, saying, please don't hurt me and don't chuck her out of her house.
Got soldiers there as well.
Because we know they used to do that. Right, excellent. Could you put your pens down there, please? Now, the purpose of this activity, let's just remind ourselves, was to get our brains warmed up, to get us thinking along the lines of this question. What were the consequences of the potato famine? Because what we've got here is a very clear consequence, something which happened to people during the potato famine. Now, we need to whiz around the room very quickly because I want to hear some of these ideas, and we'll start with the girls at the front.
The woman is begging not to be evicted.
Evicted, very good. Yes, Jamie?
There's two men on the roof taking the slate so they can get the money their money for the rent.
Right, you mentioned rent there. They haven't paid the rent, this family. We know that. Their slates are being pinched here so that they can be sold on. Very good. Down to you, Lee. Yes.
There's a man, taking one of the residents' farm animals, which he might be keeping or selling, so to make a profit.
They were. Absolutely right. The landlord here has ordered that their animals be taken away and sold because, coming back to Charlene's point, they couldn't afford to pay the rent. Now, if we had to give this picture a title, I think you just had to have one word as a title. You've drawn this picture, you've shown what was happening to a family in Ireland in 1847. How might you title it? Joe?
Eviction.
Right, eviction. And you're absolutely right. You've picked out one consequence, eviction, but there are others, aren't there, that need linking to this. Now, I want you to hold that thought as we move on into the main part of the lesson.